welcome my Cancerian collective Sun, Moon, Rising signs. Welcome to your What Do I Need read for this full moon to new moon phases for February 2020. I am your reader, Mark Angela Lyons, Mel for short, professional witch, professional intuitive president of Drawing the Circle Productions, and raised by a Cancerian woman. Yeah, moms of the zodiac. I had one. Still do. Got a caller later tonight, actually. So if you are new to my channel, please do like and subscribe. I'm making my way to 1,000 subscribers. My mom asks me every day, how close are you to 1,000 subscribers? And I've made a promise to said subscribers that once a month for the first couple of months I would do a little thing called Super Live Chat, a Drunk Tarot, a little ditty called Drunk Tarot, and there is a link in the description box below. Please check it out. That will explain to you what Drunk Tarot is and why you should like and subscribe, because I love doing this. This is fun. This is not what I thought my career would be, but here I am, and I'm having a fucking field day. Oh, the divine plan, the divine plan. Well, there you have it. There's creativity for you, right? Before we get down to business here, though, please keep in mind this is a general read. Be kind. It's a general read, right? You can't read everybody 100% all the time, which is why I do sun, moon, and rising signs for these What Do I Need reads, so that you can get your percentages, right? If you get 100%, like, and also I know when I need a reading, I usually check Pisces because I'm a Pisces moon. Really, I'm a Virgo. I prefer but that tends to cover things like in my career, where if we're talking about like romantic relationships and emotional shits, my Pisces moon, right? So check your other signs. That's all I'm saying. Because a What Do I Need read is a little unique. It's sort of like asking an oracle card for your card of the day, except it's more fine-tuned. It's going to the divine with a sense of humility, not humiliation, but humility, saying, look, I don't know. All I know is I'm a soul that incarnated, was chosen to incarnate in this body with this name to play this character, right? After how many lifetimes, here I am again. What do I need? Like, you can do that for the day, for the hour, but this is about a full moon to new moon phase. Now, by the way, the full moon is on the 9th of February. It's a Sunday, but it's at like 2:33 a.m. Eastern time. So if you're looking to actually do new moon work, I would highly recommend you don't wait till Sunday. You do it Saturday. Do it Saturday night. For sure, I will be, and it is in Leo. Moving through to new moon in Pisces on the 23rd. I like to, well, I'm a witch. I started tuning myself to the cycles and the signs of the moon for so long, and your moon children. So by all means, I would suggest keep an eye on the signs of the moon, like when it goes void, of course. I'm also a Pisces moon, so I'm just, like I said, just more intuitive, divine feminine that way, so I have to do that. Cool. So what we're going to be doing is asking 7 different decks, but actually the voices of the angels, the goddesses, the gods. The masters will be speaking through 2 different decks, the higher selves of all involved, and at the end, 1 deck for all of them combined. Just telling you what you need, right? What do I need for this full moon to new moon next? They all don't have to agree, but at the end, they're all going to pull 1 card to clarify. It's been a little intense. So this is waning moon. Why wouldn't it be letting go? But last thing before we do this, please breathe. Please, like, if you catch yourself holding your breath, breathe. The more aware we are of the breath, the more we slow down, the more we're in the present moment, the more we can find the still point, that silence, that still point, just that, just to touch it. It's like ringing the divine bell, because the divine is always in the still point, the present moment, the here and now. That's where this reading is coming from. Anyway, that's where I'm getting my guidance and grace from. So if you're doing the same thing on your end with the breath, you know, just focusing on the breath, being here in the now, then you're going to be able to feel, particularly as a water sign, let alone a Cancerian, which of this information really resonates for you, which doesn't, and not just what resonates for you, but you can feel where. Cancerians are usually good at that. It's like there's that mommy thing about it. It's like, yeah, I know what that is, and that goes there, right? Mommy location. All right, so take a nice deep breath. Let's do this. For my Cancerians, my crablets, my crab cakes, I love you so much. Let's talk to the angels. Nice deep breath. Oceanic breath. Still point. My angels, please, one card in clarity for my delicious Cancerian collective, sun, moon, rising signs. What do they need for this full moon to new moon next? February 2020. It's going to be, this will be what the reading is named at the end, right? I always put something in the title. So what is this about? What do they need? What is the celestial, angelic, overall, higher POV for this Cancerian collective? Whoa, you need divine timing. Whoa. I know you either love divine timing or you hate divine timing. I'm a Virgo. I'm not a fan. Nah, that's not true. When things are clicking, when I can relax and trust and go with the flow. But the thing about divine timing, it's not like, oh, that was divine timing, but that wasn't. It doesn't work that way. This is saying that you need to be aware of divine timing, that there's really certain things that are scripted, if not everything completely choreographed, down to the microscopic and smaller level to the macroscopic, universal, cosmic, dimensional, interdimensional level. It's all written. Everything's going to happen in its own timing. Now, are there variations within the quantum field? Sure, but that's quantum physics, and good luck going down that rabbit hole without assistance. That's a lot. That's a lot. I mean, I know people who can actually talk the math of it. I'm like, you lost me. Let's talk about other dimensions. It's easier for my brain talking to divine beings on the regular, right? So the thing you need to know about divine timing is it's divine timing. Your higher self is divine. It understands the timing. It's the ego, it's the personality, it's the inner child that wants what it wants or it doesn't get what it wants, so the timing freaks it out. A lot of lessons involved there. So what you need, since there isn't a patience card in this deck, I'm kind of sensing that. Although I have to say the Cancerians, because y'all are the crabs, you can sort of go inside, right? You cannot necessarily shut down, but go so yin, you experience your own sense of personal timing. I've lived with them my whole life. I've always had a Cancerian in my life. Lifetime case of crabs. Speaking of which, let's turn to the voice of the divine feminine, right? The goddess, as I call it, as I call her, through the Daughters of the Moon Tarot. Oh, if I didn't mention, all the cards that I am reading are in the description box below, all the way at the bottom. So you got to go through all the other cool shit I have down there. There are a lot of cool stuff. I give good description box. I do. Been known for it, I guess. I should be. Nice deep breath. Let's ask the goddess what you need, my Cancerians. Oh, by the way, when I bless the decks before this, because I always do, I tune the decks to the zodiacal whatever. Blessing this deck, the wave of love, my eyes welled up when I blessed this deck for you. Because the three goddesses that sit in the throne of Cancer for me are Hestia, Hera, and Hecate. They are the Virgin, the Queen, and the crone, and it's made Mother Crone in a totally different way, and just the love. Girls like, I'm wearing mascara. They're like, okay. They pull back. They're so cool. Nice deep breath. Let's get you what you need, because the love is in the room. Still point. My goddesses, please. One card in clarity for this Cancerian collective. Sun, moon, rising sign. For this full moon to new moon next. What do they need? I felt that. What do they need? What do they need February 2020? Okay. It's a water card. No shock. Four of Cups. Sorrow. Now look, does not have to be necessarily sorrow. As a matter of fact, look what I just said before I drew the card. I welled up because the love was so strong, right? So a thing of divine timing with some sort of emotional release. Now, emotional release is tears, but there are tears of joy. There are tears of grief. Of course, there are tears of grief. There are tears. I cry my eyes out sometimes in prayer and meditation. I'm a mystic and a Pisces moon. There you have it, right? It's like I experience the love of the divine as both noun and verb. It's the only way I can put it into words. You play with that in your own mind, in your own heart. There's a way to experience the love of God as both noun and verb. I can't put it any other way in language at the moment. brings me to tears, right? And that's part of my spiritual practice. So, you know, I got to do that before I get all fatoots to do this, right? So, emotional movement. Let's not immediate, because, you know, they're fours. Fours aren't usually so, there are only fours in the minor arcana. So let's keep that in that divine timing place as well. This might be something that you're just going through, but that is a temporary, because it's only a 4, but it's an emotional release of some kind. And come on, full moon to new moon, waning phase, that does make sense. So if that's what you're going through sort of on the emotional side, the yin, let's ask the yang through the voice of the gods, the divine masculine. Nice deep breath, please. One more. That was a lot. Still point. My gods, please, one card in clarity for this Cancerian collective. Sun, moon, rising sign for this full moon in Leo to new moon next in Pisces, February 2020. What do they need? What do they need, my gods? Oh, Major Arcana card. Love it, love it, love it. And not just any Major Arcana card, the Star. Pandora and her box. RuPaul's Drag Race. Hope. Right? The Mother Grace of Hope. Oh my God. The Maiden Grace is humility. The Mother Grace is hope. The Crone Grace is endurance. Read my book, Words of Grace from a Professional Witch. It's on my website, jointhecircle.com. It's a brilliant fucking book. I know I wrote it, but it wrote itself through me. I still read it and go, who the fuck wrote that? Oh, I did. The Mother Grace of Hope is that somehow in all of this, there's a higher plan, right? Oh, great Mother, great Goddess, grant me the Mother Grace of Hope. May it flow through me that I may be a light of hope unto this world, that somehow there's a divine plan and a divine order and a divine timing in all of this. So yeah, you might need the tears to clear your eyes, the emotional release. Like a good storm, although there is a card of the storm in this deck, this is not that. That's actually the next card. That's what I mean. This is not quite the 5 of Cups, right? This is the 4 of Cups. This can absolutely be an emotional purge. This can be clearing emotional baggage. This can be clearing the energy field of, you know, all sorts of, but can also be that being touched. You know, when you just, something touches you, and you're just like, oh! That as well, particularly with hope. Now, hope has absolutely brought me to tears as well, but like I said, I'm a Pisces moon, but you're a Cancerian. You might, you know, no one, well, some people have seen it behind closed doors. I'm a great believer is you're allowed to know what I'm going through, but you're just not allowed to witness it firsthand. Sorry, Virgo. Pisces moon, right? So we're going to clarify that. The card of hope. I mean, the card of hope in the Major Arcana, to me, it is the most spiritual card in the deck if you want to go there. In a sense, a mystical card, because it does represent the higher point of view, right? The celestial point of view. That we get our guidance and grace from the stars way before we had maps and compasses and GPS, right? Even GPS, it's up there, right? It's a satellite doing it. It's looking up to get your guidance and grace. So it's looking to something higher, tuning to something higher. It's pretty kick-ass. Anytime a Major Arcana card comes up, when I'm only pulling one tarot card per deck, it's important to look at that. So the Star with that card of sorrow together, it might say that there's an internal emotional release that, you know, may look like sorrow, but on the outside there's a sense of enlightenment. There's the word, a starlight enlightenment. Hope. Find your way through. Breathe. We're going to ask the Ascended Masters. With the Chuck Spezzano Love Pack, 4 suits, the suit of the problem, the suit of luck, the suit of healing, and the suit of grace. Now, the Ascended Masters are those who've already lived through this game, played it, know it really well, reaching back through to help us with cheat codes, sort of, kind of, called healing and downloads and all that. Nice deep breath. Let me tune to them. Still point. Oh, my masters, please. My Ascended Masters, please. One card in clarity for this Cancerian collective. Sun, moon, rising sign. What do they need for this full moon to new moon next? February 2020. I'm feeling ya. I'm feeling ya. What is the problem? The piece of luck, the piece of healing, or the piece of grace for this Cancerian collective sun, moon, rising? That went pretty high. Okay, self-consciousness, which I immediately put in alignment there with that card of emotional release. That particularly when we're feeling sensitive, when we're feeling emotional, we can be, you know, am I okay? Am I okay? Am I okay? And a lot of problem cards have come up, which doesn't shock me, because we're looking at waning moon, we're looking at full moon to new moon next. So there's this thing of feeling a bit awkward, right? Of really wanting to make sure that, am I okay? Like, self-consciousness is not the same as vanity, which isn't great either. There is no vanity card in this deck, though there is a vanity 6. Time travel. It is one like, am I okay? Am I okay? Like, people, there are different categories of people who get self-conscious, right? There are people who are just fucking lying all the time, so they're always sort of like that. I'm not getting that here. But that thing of, like, particularly because, like, they're on a date. So she's like, am I right? Is there spinach in my teeth? Did I fart? Do I smell like fart? Right? Not necessarily being in the moment, not necessarily having the experience, and I can understand with this card of emotional release here, but then they draw my eye to the card of divine timing. It's like, you might not know what's going on because there's a divine timing issue, and can you relax? Can you follow the guidance of the star? Can you have that hope? Can you have that? Because Pandora's box, the only thing that didn't escape from the box, all the horrors of the world, but the one thing that didn't was hope, right? That golden starlight of hope. To tune to that, just be careful. Have a look at your own self-consciousness, because that could very easily distract you doing this from this. You know, spiritual sound effects. You know, I was raised by a nursery school teacher and a lawyer. I'm verbal, and I have lots of voice characterizations to play with in my life. All right. Next deck down, the Healing Mantra deck by Matt Kahn. Same ascended masters that gave you self-consciousness. They don't give you self-consciousness. That gave you that card are going to give you a healing mantra. So that's why I put them right next to each other in the read, so that we could go from one to the other, particularly if a problem suit card came up. So please, nice deep breath. Still point. Oh, I feel that. My masters, my ascended masters, please, one card in clarity, a healing mantra, the healing mantra, the most helpful, the most powerful, the most loving, the most wise healing mantra for this Cancerian collective, sun, moon, rising sign, for this full moon in Leo to this new moon next in Pisces. Please, what is the most helpful for this Cancerian collective for this full moon to new moon next February 2020? Grounding my energy. I like this one. It is safe to be in my body. It is safe to be in my body. I love this deck. It's like, I actually had this for a day or two. I've been picking a card a day, but some of them I'm like, no, I'm picking that one again. Sometimes they've even shuffled and the same card has come back 2 days in a row. I'm like, okay, right? Grounding my energy I've had for more than 1 day in a row. It is safe to be in my body. It is safe to be in my body. It is safe to be in my body. Now, I'm going to read this from the little bookie book, because it's not just about your physical body. Nothing really is just about our physical body. You start going into the whole quantum of whatnot. Here we go. Nice deep breath. Grounding my energy. It is safe to be in my body. When your energy is grounded, you are no longer wrestling with the pain of the past or chasing after potential future outcomes. Divine timing issue, right? It's like, well, but the past and but it's like, when you're here in the now, in the physical body, when you're grounding your energy, you're not chasing or running from, right? You dare to demonstrate your very best attributes and qualities, no matter how you are perceived or received by others. Yeah, because that's literally what they call being comfortable in your own skin. I am pretty comfortable in my own skin. I think you can tell. I mean, even in public, I'm sweet and I'm fun and I'm compassionate and all that too, but I am still witty as fuck no matter where I go, right? It's like I'm comfortable. I'm authentic. Long purple-haired gay witch from Long Island. You can do the best you can, right? With your energy grounded, your mind can relax as your body becomes a more enjoyable environment to inhabit. Like, to think of that as your body being part of the soul's environment. So the more that you are grounded in your body, the more of your soul, the more of your light is present here as well. The last bit, this mantra is ideal for replacing compulsive thoughts, which maybe there's some of that in that card of the sorrow, the Four of Cups, maybe not. Releasing addictive behavior and finding stability, which, if we're looking at a real emotional movement here, grounding my energy, it is safe to be in my body. And that's even like what I said before. It's like, yes, I've been clearing stuff in the collective for years now. Not even, well, we all are. Every time we have an emotion, we're clearing it for the collective. It's just better to know about it, in my experience. Because sometimes as empaths, we do that stuff. And come on, Cancerians, you're kind of, I'm not going to say you're the empaths of the zodiac. Every zodiac sign can have divine feminine energy and pick up what's happening in the quantum, which is really kind of sort of what it is. Takes it out of the ookie spooky hallowookie for me. Think of it more. That's why I always recommend people, particularly empaths, study a little quantum physics. It goes a long way. But that the more you're in your body, the more you can get, oh yeah, this is passing through me, breathe, right? It's a question of divine timing. But with this card of the star keeps jumping out at me, I think it's going to be fine. I know it's going to be fine. But that self-consciousness, am I doing something wrong? Like, that's the thing. Just because things aren't going the way that we want or we're feeling odd doesn't mean we've done something wrong. It probably just means we're letting go, clearing something. This is waning moon. On top of it, you get what I'm saying? We might be clearing something that's already been healed. It's on its way out. Better out than in. Just don't let it possess your behavior. Don't act on it. 2 more cards down. We're going to deal with the Whispers of Love Oracle, the voices of the higher self. So your higher self and the higher self of everyone involved. We're going to pick one card for you all. Nice deep breath. Still point. The higher selves of all involved, please. One card in clarity. For this Cancerian collective sun, moon, rising sign, for this full moon to new moon next, February 2020, what do they need? Even if it's completely different from everything else that's hit the table here, or whether it sums it up perfectly. What is your guidance and grace for this Cancerian collective? Sun, moon, rising sign. February 2020, full to new. Like attracts like. If you are longing for more love in your life, you need to be more loving. Now, perhaps with what's on the table here, if there is this divine timing thing, and this is about not feeling loved, then I get that, right? We have to love ourselves first, but no one really ever tells you how to do that. I mean, there are a billion books written on it. But at the end of the day, it's about your relationship with yourself. We know that, right? Start there. But if that's already in process, and there is that welling up, like I said, that like attracts like, if you're feeling all this love, start flowing it outwards, right? Do it through prayer. And maybe that's the thing. If you're feeling a little too self-conscious, right? Too emotional, I get it, man. I mean, I'm just Leo rising. I make it look good. You'd be surprised what you can get away with a little guy liner at my age. It's that thing of, let me do this for me. Let me send love. Do the blessing work, right? Because grounding your energy, this is really saying it's safe to be in your body, right? And the star is there guiding you forward. So then really, like attracts like, just start giving out the love. And if you are, let's take it to an extreme. If you're more of an introvert, right? Cancerians, I can see Cancerians being a little more introverted, though they walk around with their homes everywhere they are. I think like hermit crabs, right? that to really try and do it more on the down low for yourself, to spread that love around. Hold doors open for people. There are silent, invisible acts of kindness, silent acts of grace, right? That there are ways that you can do that kind of cultivate that sending out, because annoying as it is, and I did not write it this way because I wouldn't write it this way, the love we feel really is the love that we give, which is why giving love to ourselves, even in the kindest, smallest, most tenderest ways, it accrues over time, right? So like attracts like. A little law of attraction-y for my taste in that, but in the context of if you are longing for more love, and there is this sorrow card here with divine timing, get in your body. I understand the self-consciousness, but there is great hope here, great spiritual power. Like attracts like. Let's get you the last card. Oh boy, here we go. We saved the best for last. Let's have a look. Let's see the Caroline Myss archetype cards. Now, I love me some Caroline Myss. She's an amazing teacher. Never met her. She's the only person on planet Earth that intimidates me. And I'm not saying I wouldn't meet her and shake her hand and thank her, but she's something else. Tough cookie from Chicago. Just saying. So we're going to use her archetype deck here to look at what is the soul power that the Cancerians are alchemizing from lead to gold, the shadow that's being embraced, well, the potentiality of it being embraced and brought into the light, so to speak. But now we've got the collective pantheons, and otherwise the angels, the goddesses, the gods, the masters, and the higher selves of all involved are all getting together to pull you one card to say this is the archetype you need to look at, whether it's within your own archetypal chemistry, somebody else's that you're dealing with, or a situation, because sometimes situations have an archetype to them as well. To keep your eye out, this is what you need to do, right? Nice deep breath. One more. Go deeper. Still point. My collective pantheons of angels, goddesses, gods, masters, and the higher selves of all involved felt that. Please, one card in clarity for this Cancerian collective sun, moon, rising sign. Considering the angels, you say divine timing. The goddesses, you say the Four of Cups. In this deck, sorrow, but we also acknowledge as emotional release of some kind. The gods, the card of the star, Pandora, and the star of hope calling us forward that is never lost. Obscured perhaps, but never lost. The masters, you give us the card of self-consciousness as well as grounding my energy with the mantra, it is safe to be in my body. The higher selves, you give us the card like attracts like. If you are longing for more love in your life, you need to be more loving. All of that said, together as a collective, what is the dominant archetype, the soul power being developed for this Cancerian sun, moon, rising sign? For this full moon to new moon next February 2020 already. See, I keep doing that until they're like, now, and then the card pops. Thank God. The student archetype, wisdom family archetype, good. You got a learning curve. I get the divine timing part, good. Take a nice deep breath, you're good. Let it go. Okay, the shadow and the light on this one are not. They're great, but you'll see what I mean. The shadow, right? This is what's the opportunity to be healed, for this to be waned, to be alchemized from lead to gold. Arrogance in the pursuit of destructive knowledge. There you have it, right? Someone who's just, arrogant. I could blow up this. You get the vibe. Unwillingness to translate knowledge into action. That's a different story, right? That's where, okay, I've learned the knowledge. It used to drive me crazy when people would take things personally. I'd say, but wait a minute, you've read the Four Agreements. If you know what I mean, I'm not going into it right now. Of course I read the Four Agreement. I'm like, so you read the book. What'd you do, rub it on your third eye? It's like, well, why are you taking it personally, even if it didn't involve me directly, right? So that thing, it's like, I learned it. I have the knowledge, but I don't put it into action. That makes sense with the shadow side. But catch the light. Humility and devotion to knowledge, openness to lifelong learning, which means there is a lesson here for you, which is why I'm like, well, then again, I'm a spiritual teacher, so I love when, it's a life lesson. This is a life lesson, and it feels like it's going down over a 14-day period or less, you know, depending on how this resolves itself in the individual stories within the quantum collective for the Cancerians. It does make sense. Divine timing, but this says it's an emotional lesson of one kind or another, that emotional release. But with the star there is spirit, your soul, your higher power, your gods, whatever you want to call it, guiding your way, calling you forward as if your soul is somewhere in the future, calling you forward emotionally. But that self-consciousness, what, am I okay? Am I doing this right? Are my chakras aligned? Where's the sun? Where's the moon? Where's my anus, right? But to ground your energy, it is safe to be in my body. It is safe to be in my body. Look, it's a mantra. Just chant it 1,000 times a day. You don't have to agree with it. You don't have to like it, but you will find peace in that. I did, at least. You know, it's all I can do as a spiritual teacher, find what works for me and pass it on. And then, of course, with like attracts like, you can be very honest and very humble about this with this student archetype, saying, I really don't kind of know what I'm doing. Perhaps I'm in a new place in my life, or I'm waiting on something, or it was just time, and now all of this stuff has happened. So I'm going to move that kindness around because I am in a learning curve, right? A humility and devotion to knowledge, openness to lifelong learning. So it doesn't matter how old you are, how much you've learned, if you're the grand high muckety muck of who cares what tradition, what lineage, who cares, right? Are you open to lifelong learning? Do you have the humility, or are you suffering the pangs of humiliation? Because you don't know. But there's hope. It's a pretty heavy-duty reading, my Cancerians, and I really do pray that the tears are those tears of here. In fact, I will pray right now. Nice deep breath. May the Cancerian collective Sun, Moon, Rising signs be blessed with all that they need this full moon in Leo to new moon in Pisces, February 2020, that they may release what needs to be released emotionally in this waning tide in divine timing, that they feel safe to be in their own bodies, that the star guide them through the higher vibrational inspiration, hope, and light, that their self-consciousness can be released as they get that like attracts like, that they're going to be more loving to themselves and to everybody else, even if silently through prayer, through small acts of kindness, and that there are so many lessons that are going to be learned along the way with this, that will not just soothe their heart, but bring them into an openness where what they gain as a result from this experience will far outweigh any tears shed. May that be true for them and all Cancerians everywhere, for the well-being of all. And so it is. So mote it be. Thank you so much for watching, my Cancerians. Please like, subscribe, all that. Go read my description box. There's good, fun stuff down there. But wishing you the very best and the very blessed of this full moon to new moon next. But for now, my darlings, my crablets, I love you so much. Hail, farewell, and blessed be.